Good evening, here's top news newsletter starting with headlines. Syria calmed down against terrorist organization continues. Syrian parliament approves bill on establishing Institute for Regional Planning. Said Nasrallah, Hezbollah has every conceivable type of weapons. Europol warns 5,000 Europeans fighting in Syria. Dens and gatherings of terrorists received heavy firepower in Al Misharfiye Al Janoubiya village and the area between Al Rajm Al Qsair and the eastern countryside of Homs. To the southeast of the city, army units carried out special operations against the terrorist dens in Wadi Samarra and Wadi Al-Kahf in the countryside of Al-Qsair, leaving numbers of them killed. Army units destroyed ISIS hideouts, concentrations and vehicles equipped with heavy machine weapons in the areas of Al-Jbele, Al-Haweka, Al-Rasafi and Al-Miraiye in the countryside of Deir ez-Zor. Scores of the terrorists were killed. While in Daraa, army units killed many terrorists and wounded others in Busra Sham and Al-Marib in the countryside of the southern province in Hasake. Units of the army carried out series of what source in the province described as successful against members of so-called ISIS, and the military operations in Natal al-Majdal, which is one of the ISIS most prominent strongholders in the west countryside of Hasake, inflicted heavy losses upon personnel and equipments. Politically, the Syrian cabinet approved a bill on establishing a higher institute for regional planning in Damascus University due to the need of specialists in the field that would provide expertise for advising development strategies. Chairing the session, Prime Minister Wael al-Halaki said that the recent rain and snowfall should have a positive impact on irrigation projects and water resources, stressing the need to help secure farmers who were affected by the weather conditions. Foreign Minister Walid al-Muallim briefed the cabinet on the political developments on the international arena. Al-Muallim underlined the increasing rate of implementing reconciliation in several areas in Syria, saying that 2015 will be the year of emerging from the crisis in Syria and moving towards restoring security and stability. Hezbollah Secretary General Sayyid Hassan Nasrallah said that the resistance in Lebanon has every conceivable type of weapon, as reports increased on Hezbollah news weapons that are able to break the Israeli national morale and immunity during an upcoming war. Sayyid Nasrallah warned that resistance in Lebanon has everything the enemy can imagine and not imagine. We have weapons of all types, whatsoever come to mind, he added. In a strong warning message to the Israeli enemy, the interview, which lasted for 3 hours, was a launchpad for a host of positions and important data, especially in the case of resistance and Israeli conflict. In Mexico, the former mayor of the southern city of Iguala has been charged with last year's kidnapping of 43 students. Reuters quoted a senior Mexican security official as saying, Portuguese obtained an arrest warrant for former mayor José Luis Apraca and 44 others of charges of kidnapping 34 students who are feared to have been killed. According to Tomás Ziron, director of criminal investigation at the Federal Attorney General's office, these are the first charges filed against Apraca that are directly related to the student's disappearance. Authorities have said since October that the mayor and his wife mastermind the kidnappings. In the European view, the Europol Director Rob Wainwright warned that the European Union is facing a growing threat of Islamist fighters returning from Syria, and say that as many as 5,000 Europeans are still fighting in Syria. This has been a long-standing concern, as those fighters will eventually return home with ties to international jihadist movements and an eye toward attacks in the Western world. Wainwright warned Europe faced a capability gap in dealing with the returning terrorists and that the risk of sleeper cells was more than at any time since 9/11. Europeans have flocked into Syria, mostly to join ISIS in numbers unprecedented, and ISIS and the other groups have been able to absorb them with relative ease. That's all for today. Thanks for joining us. I'm Nibal Hneidi. Good night.